Anyone can hold nunchucks. Cole, Ninja of Earth, to J, Ninja of Lightning. Hello, I'm Sensei the Dark Master, and welcome back to the Lore of Ninjago! In this installment of the Lore of Ninjago, we shall be discussing the many chain weapons of Ninjago. We shall cover the many types of chain weapons, who has wielded these weapons, the powers they possess, and bestow upon their users, and much, much more. First, however, I feel it is appropriate for me to define the exact verbiage being used here. A chain weapon is defined as a weapon made up of one or more heavy objects attached to a chain. Sometimes a handle is also present. Some of the oldest examples of this type of weaponry in the world include medieval flails like those used in Russia and Eastern Europe. In the context of Ninjago, inspiration came from those of Japan, including the nunchaku, more often called nunchucks. Indeed, nunchucks are the largest category of chain weapons and are defined as being a weapon consisting of a pair of traditionally 12-inch long sticks connected by 1 inch of rope or chain, which was used throughout Southeast Asia but is most famous, obviously, for Japan. As far as Ninjago is concerned, this is perhaps the most impactful of the many chain weapons categories because J, the Ninja of Lightning, used them for most of the early seasons of Ninjago. There are of note 2 named nunchucks that existed in the history of Ninjago. First, there are the Golden Nunchucks of Lightning. These were first seen being used by the first Spinjitzu master, along with the other 3 golden weapons of creation, to create the island landmass of Ninjago. From there, he felt his supposed death approaching after some time passed, and he left the Nunchucks of Lightning to his 2 sons, Sensei Wu and Garmadon. At some point after his death, Wu would lay the golden nunchucks of lightning and the other golden weapons around Moro. However, when they didn't react, it was revealed that he was not destined to be the Green Ninja, and he left his former master. The tragedy would not end, however, as afterwards Garmadon would be consumed with the evil that had been birthed into him by the bite of the Great Devourer, and sought to the nunchucks of lightning and the other golden weapons for his own evil will. The 2 fight for control of the weapons of creation, and in the end, Garmadon ends up getting struck by lightning. His ribcage becomes exposed, and his flesh is seared black, and he falls into the underworld. After this, in order to avoid having the weapons, which include the nunchucks of lightning, from falling into the hands of his brother or any other such evildoer, he would place them in areas that they would be protected by dragons. In the case of the nunchucks of lightning, they would be placed inside the floating ruins, which are a mysterious abandoned city that itself resembles a giant pair of floating nunchucks, where they would be guarded by the lightning dragon named Wisp. Eventually, when he sensed that his brother was returning, Wu would gather a team of ninja in order to stop his brother and begin training them. They tried to get the golden weapons, but in the end, the Skulkin, who had become subservient to Garmadon, would get the golden weapons. Samurai tried to use the 4 golden weapons to regain control and destroy Garmadon, but their power was too much, even for the undead warrior, and he died, and a portal opened, which Garmadon used to escape his imprisonment. He would later return with 4 hands, and he then used the Nunchuck of Lightning and other golden weapons to kill the Great Devourer, finally getting his revenge on the serpent that turned him evil, and was able to get the weapons, which is what he really wanted. He would then go to the Golden Peaks, and there would merge the Nunchucks of Lightning along with the other weapons of creation into his newfound Mega Weapon. Using this mega weapon, he was able to grant his evil wishes, and after many shenanigans, Garmadon eventually was able to go back in time to try and stop the ninja from beating him the first time. But when the mega weapon came in contact with the OG golden weapons, including the nunchucks of lightning, they were all sent into the depths of space, basically making it so that those events didn't really happen at all, and there was never any actual interference. But they did eventually land on the comet Arcturus. The digital overlord, seeking the golden power to overcome his one weakness, would send his ninjroids into space in order to reclaim the nunchucks of lightning and other golden weapons. The ninja also caught a ride on their rocket and tried to stop them, but couldn't, and in the end the overlord smelted the golden weapons down to a set of armor he used to take over Ninjago City. Zane made the ultimate sacrifice, with the Overlord ending up dying because of it and thus leaving the now abandoned golden armor alone. They would be placed into a vault for safekeeping until the events of the March of the Oni, where they would be smelted back down into golden nunchucks and the other weapons of creation, when it was revealed that the otherwise invincible Oni were weakened by the golden armor, implying that creation was their weakness. Eventually, Jay would use the nunchucks of lightning to help create a tornado of creation that defeated the Oni and rendered the nunchucks of lightning powerless. And again, they were put into storage for safekeeping. During the events of Crystallized, the resurrected Overlord, now bearing the name the Crystal King, sent forth his Crystal Council to gather the weapons, which he then corrupted into the Weapons of Destruction, including the Nunchucks of Destruction, which the Nunchucks of Lightning were turned into. They would be used for evil until the ninja, thanks to the last prophecy of Quarnish the Elder, or as some call him, Quarnish the Fool, their dragon forms were unlocked and they were able to regain control of the weapons. However, it turned out that all of this was just a massive trick as the Overlord sought to corrupt the elements of creation themselves. Jay would then unite the golden weapons, sacrificing them in order to release the Golden Ultra Dragon, who was allegedly used by the first Ninjutsu Master to help create the weapons of creation, and who then proceeded to defeat the Overlord, and the dragon afterwards faded, and so did the elemental powers of the ninja. Now that the history of the Nunchucks of Lightning was covered, let us talk about their abilities. First, of course, true to their name, they can cause a large frenzy of lightning to be generated, which, especially when they're gyrated rapidly, they power up and can either hit opponents or be used to power up electrical devices. The second ability is to transform into a large blue jet called the Storm Glider, or Storm Fighter, or the Lightning Jet, depending on the medium exactly being referenced. It is surrounded by lightning, which it can shoot at targets. The Nunchucks of Lightning were wielded by obviously Jay, but also by the first Ninjutsu Master, Wu, Garmadon, Samukai, Knuckle, and even Pythor did so briefly during the events of Crystallized. Then there was the Obsidian Nunchucks, which was one of the 5 obsidian weapons that Ronin used during the events of the game Shadow of Ronin. Ronin used the obsidian glaive to wipe the memories and thus true potential of the ninja in order to distract them, while he could get the elemental forges in order to create a portal to the cursed realm to pay off a debt of unknown origins. They had to get the other 4 obsidian weapons in order to negate the effects of the obsidian glaive, and Jay, upon getting the obsidian nunchucks, restored his memories and thus his abilities. In terms of abilities, the obsidian nunchucks allow a user to shoot lightning and power up machines, much like the nunchucks of lightning, which they closely resemble. Another category of chain weapons in Ninjago are flails, which are defined as a weapon with a long handle and a striking head attached by a chain. There are three types of such weapons in the world of Ninjago. First is the Jade Blade Flail, which is one of the Jade Blades and bears a jade green blade set upon a golden chain, wielded by Lloyd during the Tournament of Elements. They don't really have any power of their own and are simply tickets in order to not get eliminated during the first round of the tournament. The Silver Flail, also sometimes erroneously called a Silver Battle Mace, are a type of weapon primarily used by the Skulkin and Serpentine, which, in addition to being swung directly at opponents, can also be spun over the wielder's head to dissuade attacks from all sides. It is also said to have a minor magical effect where it is able to hit targets instinctively, more accurately than that of other weapons. Then there is the Golden Battle Mace, which, while referred to as a mace, is clearly just a golden flail wielded by Skulkin and Serpentine and has no intrinsic abilities outside of being gold. Then there is the Golden Heli Chain, which is a pair of golden chains connected to a handle, which is wielded by the Skulkin Warrior Whiplash, which can be used to whip opponents. Then there is the Golden Chain, which was a weapon wielded by Zane that was a chain in gold with a handle that could be used to deliver whipping and lashing based attacks. Then there was the Dark Chained Whip, which is a chain from the underworld that is capable of stealing the souls of anyone it hits. Despite resembling a regular silver chain, and despite its general Skulkin type vibe, it was actually apparently associated with the ninja who wielded it, though I don't know why they would want to take anyone's souls. The chain bolas were weapons fired by certain ghost vehicles like that of the chain cycle that could turn any life form they hit into ghosts. The chained sai are serpentine weapons that are basically a sai attached to a gunmetal gray chain attached to a wooden stick. It was wielded by the Hypnobrai warrior Slithra. Then there is the Fang of Poison, which is a serpentine weapon which possesses two variants. The first variant is a chained Fang of Poison, wielded by the Venomorai scout Lasha. It has a small green crystal at the base of the chain, which holds venom, while a fang-like spike to envenomate those it hits. The green crystal vial can contain any serpentine venom to enhance the weapon's capability, but it is primarily associated with Venomorai venom due to that being the one it's wielded by. The new Fang of Poison was a variant wielded by the Hypnobrai soldier Mesmo, which lacks a green vial and has an orange spike which is specialized in delivering piercing blows to targets, implying it doesn't really envenomate them as much. Then there is the similar Skulkin weapon known as a Chained Fang, which is constructed out of a silver chain with a silver handle. The spike is described as being a fossilized dinosaur tooth and can deliver fierce piercing attacks, which implies that dinosaurs existed in the past, which isn't that surprising given that grundles exist. But then there is a golden variation called the Golden Chained Fang, which is a golden chain on a golden handle that has the mighty tooth of an extinct golden T-Rex. Despite its very corpulent display, it is wielded by Sensei Wu. Then there are chain rifles, which were guns used by dragon hunters to catch dragons using Vengestone chains. They're technically more of a gun-like weapon, but I figure I should include them here as they do use chains as a type of ammo, which in some ways kind of combines the worst aspects of both types of weapons, but then there was the non-canon Jay's Spike Flail, which was used by Jay during the Lego Ninjago movie against the Shark Army. But it's not canon, so nobody cares. Then there is the final chain weapon, and it seems fitting to end with Jay's weapon, also called Jay's Golden Kusagarama. A kusarigama is a traditional Japanese weapon consisting of a sickle on a metal chain. A J is similar to the basic concept, but in gold. Now, this sounds all really good, and yes, there are many positives to using chain weapons, but the chain weapons of Ninjago, much like those in real life, do have some intrinsic weaknesses. First, the chain could easily be broken, leaving you with basically just a useless handle. It can also find itself wrapped around the sword of another person, basically neutralizing it. It can even, in some cases, rebound to hit one who wields it, which is something that no other weapon has. No other weapon can potentially hit you. And then there also is the fact that it's very hard to use in tight corridors. In conclusion, what can be learned from the chain weapons of Ninjago? Well, we learned that in order to achieve what we plan on doing in life, we must arm ourselves with the right tools for the job, and that in the end, no matter what weapon you have, the greatest weapon is that which is in your mind: knowledge. And we must plan carefully lest we end up chained to our past mistakes. I'm Sensei the Dark Master, and join me next time on The Lore of Ninjago. Subscribe if you like this video, and have a nice day.